This is a second stimulus check update for May 6th. In this video, I'm going to answer two main questions: how much money you'll get and when you'll get it with the second stimulus package. But first, I'm David, and if you want the latest second stimulus check information, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm publishing daily videos updating you on when you'll get your money, as well as what's happening with the second stimulus check. In this video, I'm going to go over the 4 second stimulus check proposals, how much money you could get from each one, then the status of them happening and likelihood that they'll happen. But first, let me give you some statistics of what's going on. The U.S. government, according to the Chicago Tribune, this was published yesterday, May 5th, it says it's distributed 130 million economic impact payments. But how far will $1,200 actually go for a family? If you want a second stimulus check, let me know by hitting the like button. I'm just curious. If I see there's a lot of likes, then I'll know that you're serious about getting a second stimulus check. If we look at this article here by the Motley Fool, they did a survey, so approximately 74% expect their check to last a month or less, and 22% who have already spent their economic impact payment, and 24% believe it'll last less than 2 weeks. So with restaurants pretty much shut down, stores shut down, a lot of the country is still shut down, bills are still piling up, $1,200, $2,400 is not going to go far. If we look at this according to Zillow and the census, so for instance, the average family in Massachusetts, California, and Hawaii, which are high cost of living states, will be able to cover 66, 71%, and 74% of their bills for 1 month. Then in lower cost of living states such as Mississippi and Arkansas, they'll be able to cover 178% of 1 month's expenses, which will be about 8 weeks of bills covered with that money. But this doesn't account for everybody. There are certain states like New York, which has a high cost of living, and if someone is not working, and with 30 million people who applied for unemployment are not receiving their unemployment checks due to delays and the system's backing up, $1,200, $2,400 is not going to last long. I know I'm pointing out the obvious, but I wanted to back up with facts that a second stimulus check is necessary, and people will not survive off the $1,200 or the lack of money that they have with the current situations of most of the country being shut down. With that said, there are 4 different proposals for a second stimulus check, and just for the sake of this video and future videos, I'm going to call it a second stimulus check, which is an umbrella term for all the different proposals and acts, relief bills. There's a lot of different names. I'm just going to call it second stimulus check. So first one, probably the most popular one, is going to be the Emergency Money for People Act, and this is known as a $2,000 a month stimulus. Just to keep you informed and up to date, basically you're going to get $2,000 monthly stimulus check for single taxpayers, $4,000 for married couples. If you make less than $130,000 a year or $260,000 as a married couple, and you're going to get $500 per child, capped at 3 children, and it's a lot more broad than the CARES Act, which was the first one where everyone got $1,200. The one addition to this proposal that I like is that adult dependents will be eligible for the stimulus check compared to the CARES Act, where if an adult was claimed as a dependent, they were not eligible for their $1,200 stimulus check. Next proposal is the Getting Back to America Work Act. This is proposed by Senator Josh Hawley, and basically what this is to give 80% of employer payroll costs. Now, this isn't going to directly affect regular people who don't have a business or who are not working. This is mainly to give businesses more money to retain their workers and restart quickly once the whole pandemic is done. But as of now, there is no end to the pandemic. I know some states are slowly opening up, but at this point, the amount of cases hasn't really gone down to a point where life could go back to normal. Next is the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act. So this one is basically what it says. It will cancel your rent and mortgage payments for a person's primary residence for 1 year, but there is no cap. So you could have a $20,000 rent and that'll be covered, or you could be a rich billionaire and the mortgage will be covered on the house. So there isn't much provisions with this one. not likely to happen. And the next proposal, also known as the ABC, which stands for Automatic Boost to Communities, basically this one is going to give you a Boost debit card that is preloaded with $2,000 and then reloaded $1,000 each month for a year or after the whole COVID pandemic crisis ends. So this one is probably the most least likely to happen, although I'm sure a lot of people would love it. It's just not getting much traction at this moment. Before we go forward, I just want to let you know that I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I like values and principles on both sides, and I do not pick one side over the other. The reason why I say this is that the information I'm giving you is completely unbiased, and I'm just presenting the facts. With that said, let's talk about how everyone feels about these proposals and what traction they are getting. President Trump, he says he's looking for new tax cuts for the next stimulus package. He's not really looking into direct payments, although on April 6th, when doing an interview, he said that more help would be on the way, not too specific. But here are the proposals that President Trump wants. Two main priorities, which is the suspension of payroll taxes for workers and expanded deduction for corporate spending on meals and entertainment. This article is from the New York Times yesterday, May 5th. So if his two top priorities are to help corporations save more money, which I think could help, but not during a pandemic. At this time, he is not supporting any direct payments to people to help through the pandemic. Now, when it comes to the most popular proposal at the moment, the one is going to be the Emergency Money for the People Act, which is the $2,000 a month stimulus check. So far, it has 18 Democratic co-sponsors, no Republicans on that yet. But in terms of giving direct payments, 4 Republicans gave input, which I think will give a better idea of if or when the second stimulus check will happen. So Steve Scalise, he says, what we should be focused on is responsibly implementing the relief packages we passed to get trillions of dollars directly to the hands of families and businesses so American people have jobs and an economy to come back to when we finally open. So kind of skirting the issue there, not really talking about the issues at hand in terms of giving more money now. In regards to a second stimulus check, Paul Mitchell says we already have universal basic income. It's called work. We also have social disability insurance, SSDI, for people who are unable to work physically or due to disabilities. We have security if you're older, you've earned it. So he's not on board with direct payments or a second stimulus check to the people as well. Then we have Lindsey Graham. The real stimulus that's going to change the trajectory we're on is going to be the economy, not government checks. So I doubt there will be another payment. So let me know your opinions on what they're saying. To some degree, they're right if we had a normal economy, but with the economy shut down, people not working and not receiving their unemployment checks, something has got to give. So with all this said, it looks like that a second stimulus check is not even close to happening yet, which I know is bad news for a lot of people. And a lot of people, millions of people, still haven't even received their first stimulus check. If you're looking for free money or free stocks, I have a spreadsheet down in the description below, and it has about 10 investment apps. Just for signing up, you could get a free stock or 2, which could be valued anywhere from $5 to up to $1,400. So if you want, you just sign up, get the free stock, and then you could deposit that into your account. If you want more stimulus check updates, you could click this playlist over here on the second stimulus checks and what's going on, or click this video over here. Stay safe, take care, and hopefully we all get more money soon. Thank you for watching.